We've mentioned Bruno G already, but some big updates in relation to Arsenal's pursuit. Are they going to get this closed off, locked off quickly at the risk of another hijack? All that to come on the Done Deal Show today. Do me a big favor, please. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. It takes you a second. If you're on your phone, just press it now. If you're watching on TV, pick up your remote, go to the like button, get it hit. If you're watching on a laptop or a desktop, whatever it may be, get your mouse, go to the like button and hit it for us. If you can, hit the hype button as well. Really important to the channel. Now, the other Bruno stories that I wanted to touch on. First update comes here, as you can see, from Ben Jacobs, and that is that Arsenal accelerating their pursuit of Bruno Guimaraes, as reported this morning. There's also a further update that I wanted to go to here, which is this one here, that says Arsenal are preparing to accelerate its moves for Guimaraes, and the clubs have held talks with the player representatives and received positive indications on the possibility of completing the deal this summer. But I want to play a clip here from Ben Jacobs because it's very, very important.
Well, I think Arsenal are trying. That's the point here. Newcastle, obviously, and we have to respect their position, had briefed this morning, at least through sources that I spoke to, that there's not been any formal contact yet. So they don't have a decision to make. And yet my understanding is that's not strictly the reality. Maybe it's a technicality, but Arsenal have not just held talks. Arsenal have placed 2 bids via intermediaries. The first for about 55 million, the second for around 65 million, and a third bid, very likely straight to Newcastle United, is expected. And broad terms are already in place with Bruno Guimaraes. And yet Newcastle's stance is he's not for sale. Newcastle feel financially they're under no obligation to sell because they've just brought in 100 million potential package for Sandro Tonali, who went to Tottenham Hotspur. But we know that when a player wants to leave Newcastle United, there's a big decision to make. And Eddie Howe will not want this saga repeating like Alexander Isak and dragging on all summer.
You don't expect Bruno Guimaraes to behave in the same way as Alexander Isak?
Not in the sense of boycotting or refusing to play, but Bruno Guimaraes has already told Newcastle United directly he would like to move.
Sure.
And Arsenal at the moment are the front runners.
So very interesting here. I like this breakdown from Ben because I find what a lot of journalists have been doing with this story this summer is taking what their source is saying and putting it out like it's the complete and utter truth. Where I think what Ben said makes a lot more sense. And Ben will often not get the credit he deserves because he will show you what's being said from multiple sides. And that's the problem with any story. And if you sit in a courtroom, if you listen to history, study history, even if you listen to 3 friends tell the same story about an incident on a night out, you'll get differences in it. That's just human nature. And Newcastle keeps saying there's been no direct contact. Arsenal are saying that they're in contact, but via an intermediary. Arsenal are saying there's been 2 bids that have been made. Newcastle are saying no bids have been made. That's because Newcastle were saying the bids aren't formal bids. Arsenal were saying, well, they don't need to be formal bids. They're informal. And we're waiting for you to agree to a fee. And then once we know we're there or thereabouts, we put the official bid in that can, or, which is official. And this is where football fans get very frustrated because the clubs, and I'm not talking Newcastle or Arsenal specifically, play games in this regard as opposed to just telling the fans as it is. But when I grew up, whether you text it, emailed it, did it officially via fax, phoned up, asked an intermediary, a bid was a fucking bid. And I think we've just got to get back to that language and stop convoluting things all the time because it's becoming boring in that regard now. But Arsenal accelerating. I do feel there is a little bit of nervousness in the Arsenal fan base in case a Man City, in case a Chelsea get involved in this deal. Remains to be seen whether they will be able to hijack Arsenal, who are the leaders in this race. It does feel like something that Arsenal are trying to push through quickly now. But as ever, look, I want your thoughts. I want your views. I want your opinions on this in that comment section below. But as we can see, Arsenal now accelerating that.
Now to some big breaking news regarding Southampton's Spygate scandal. The club have confirmed that head coach Tonda Ecker has been charged by the FA. He's charged with 3 breaches of FA Rule E3.1 in relation to misconduct between December 2025 and May 2026. The FA say it's alleged that the head coach acted in an improper manner and or brought the game into disrepute by directing and/or authorising the observation of training sessions of Oxford United FC, Ipswich Town FC and Middlesbrough FC ahead of fixtures between these clubs and Southampton FC in December 2025, April 2026 and May 2026 respectively. Eckhart has until Tuesday to provide his responses. Now, some context here. Southampton were expelled from the Championship playoff final in May by the EFL after they admitted to spying on 3 clubs during the season after they were caught observing a Middlesbrough training session at the first leg of their playoff semi-final. The EFL charged Saints after it was later found they'd also observed sessions involving Oxford, Ipswich. Southampton will also start the upcoming season on -4
Have you ever
points
noticed
as
how
part-
one transfer rumour can completely take over an entire summer window? Just when Arsenal supporters thought the club's midfield plans were becoming clear, a sensational update has emerged linking the Gunners with Newcastle United captain Bruno Guimaraes. Reports suggest Arsenal could be preparing a huge offer worth around £85 million, while speculation continues to grow over whether the Brazilian is edging closer to a blockbuster move to North London. If this deal happens, it won't just be another signing. It could completely transform Arsenal's title ambitions. Bruno Guimaraes has been one of the Premier League's standout midfielders since arriving at Newcastle. His ability to control the tempo, win possession, dictate play and produce moments of brilliance in the final third has made him one of the most sought-after players in England. It's no surprise Arsenal have been linked. Mikel Arteta has built one of Europe's strongest squads, but everyone knows there's always room for another world-class midfielder. Declan Rice has been exceptional, Martin Odegaard remains the creative heartbeat of the team, but adding Bruno Guimaraes would give Arsenal something completely different. Imagine a midfield built around Rice's defensive dominance, Odegaard's creativity and Bruno's all-action brilliance. Suddenly Arsenal wouldn't just be competing for the Premier League. They'd be sending a message to every club in Europe. That's why supporters have become so excited over the latest rumours. The reported £85 million figure would represent one of Arsenal's biggest transfers ever. Newcastle, however, are under no pressure to sell their captain. Eddie Howe considers Bruno one of the club's most important players, and convincing the Magpies to negotiate would require an enormous offer. Even then, nothing would be guaranteed. But here's where the story becomes even more interesting. Reports circulating online claim Bruno's medical is already underway. If true, that would mean negotiations had progressed much further than anyone expected. It would also explain why excitement among Arsenal supporters has exploded across social media. Every refresh brings another rumour. Every update creates fresh speculation. Every fan is asking exactly the same question. Could Arsenal actually pull this off? The timing certainly makes sense. Arteta has repeatedly spoken about raising standards within the squad. Last season Arsenal came incredibly close once again, but fine margins separated them from silverware. Adding another elite midfielder could provide exactly the boost needed to finally get over the line. Bruno isn't simply a technically gifted footballer. He's a leader, a competitor, a player who thrives under pressure. Whether it's winning second balls, breaking opposition attacks or producing decisive moments in the biggest games, the Brazilian consistently delivers. Those qualities are exactly what title-winning teams require. Of course, Newcastle won't make things easy. The Magpies remain determined to keep one of their biggest stars, and supporters would be devastated to lose a player who has become the face of the club's modern project. That means Arsenal would likely need to produce an irresistible package before serious negotiations could reach a conclusion. Still, optimism continues to grow. Whenever clubs begin preparing for major transfers, developments often happen very quickly. One breakthrough meeting, one accepted offer, one agreement over personal terms.